definitely have to do it in families. So let me ask you this before we go, because I know I don't want to, you know, with your time. If you are speaking to a Black man stuck in old patterns, control, emotional suppression, dominance, what spiritual message or invitation would you, Brother Mogasi, give him?
I invite you to more. I invite you to more. I invite you to a place where the women around you are your co-collaborators for greatness. I invite you to a place where you can understand that their abundance is not a threat, it is a support to you. I invite you to understand that their goddess-like state is actually in protection of you. It is not to dim your light. I invite you to more. I invite you to understand your manhood as a space of protection of yourself and of others as well. I think I invite you to understand that all of us as men can worship, quote unquote, at the feminine altar and receive immediate results, because when the feminine is at her best, she is abundant, she is blessing, she is peace, she is nurturing, she is nourishing, she is goddess, she is life itself. And so why wouldn't you want to experience all of that? Why do you think, you know, you want to experience just 10% of it, or 5% of it, and you want to oppress the other 95? I would also invite them with a promise that said, if you treated her better, you will treat yourself better.
Yes.
And if you treated her better, she will treat you better.
Yes.
So I think for me, it would be an invitation to more, and that more is scary. Let's acknowledge it's a more that will cause discomfort in the initial stages. But the promise that is there is that when she is better, the community will be better.
That's right.
When
and
she is better, the family will be better.
Family will be better. And also, Brother Mogasi, if they see themselves better, because you know, if you even some of my friends, or because I don't have many friends, but I have a handful, but I have good acquaintances, right? Different levels.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced a lot of times they don't see the warrior or the king in them that I can actually see inside of them. And so sometimes I wonder if, because they're not having that clear vision, maybe they don't realize that they do deserve more from us women. They do deserve the fullness of us as a woman. So they will satisfy with scraps because they're comfortable giving scraps, and they're comfortable giving breadcrumbs, because the colonialism and the oppressors have tricked them so much to let them think that they're less than. So that even when it comes on to, you know, being happy or being at peace, somehow they screw it up or they mess it up. And my grandfather used to call those people wilderness walkers, because remember, my grandfather was biblical, right? So he would say those people who walk around 40 years around the promised land, but they don't have the mindset to actually enter it. And if you invite them into it, they will come in and they will destroy it in some way. Subconsciously, they will mess it up, because internally, subconsciously, behind, they don't really feel that they deserve it, because they've been sold this lie that they're less than. So we have to get the brothers to actually be able to look at themselves as more than just a paycheck, more than just manual labor. And maybe then it will open up their eyes to see us as more than just a body, and actually the anchor to your spirituality, right?
Yeah.
And to get the women to actually see themselves too as more than just free labor, and more than just your worth is when you are partnered. See what I mean? So it's all of that work. And I try to we can talk about it because we have that understanding. But where I am right now, Brother Mogasi, is how do I distill that information to make it digestible to the people who are exposed to me? The best way I can do that is just through my actions and lead by example, which is natural because of how I live. It's okay, it's not a burden. But at the same time, you don't want to be seen as a standard that is unreachable, because they all can reach it if they go deeper. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Totally agree with you. I think that, you know, it's it shouldn't sound too high. It shouldn't sound too hectic. But the truth is, it is high. It is a high standard.
Yeah,
It is a high order. And I think that we also would need to get to a place where, you know, to be called a man should be a privilege. To be called a woman should be a privilege. You ought to have proven certain things.
That's
You ought to
right.
have shown certain things in your character, in your, you know, sort of braiding the different strands of the world and how you do it. It should come through. And then we can call you a man, or then we can call you a woman. And those words should not be as cheap as what we've made them. I think there's power in someone being called a woman, or being called divinely feminine. Those things get thrown around a lot today. You know, it's a serious title. It's not a small thing, you know. And
king
I think that
king and queen.
Yeah.
If I call someone king, it's because I see that light, the kingship in the thing in them, right?
Yeah.
And you know what you just said about go through certain trials to be called certain things, that ties back into a lot of the African traditions too.
Yes.
Where they had certain battles to fight